three quarterbacks, combined earnings of over $650 million. And right now, in March 2026, not one of them has a guaranteed starting job. Welcome back to Alex Mahomes. No bias, no loyalty, just cold data and the story nobody is telling you straight. Today, we are breaking down exactly how three of the highest paid quarterbacks in recent history went from untouchable to unemployed. Let's get into it. We start with the one that surprised the fewest people, but still stings. Kyler Murray was the number one overall pick in the 2019 NFL Draft. He won Rookie of the Year, made back-to-back Pro Bowls, and at his peak, he was genuinely one of the most electric quarterbacks in football. A player so gifted that the Arizona Cardinals handed him a 5-year, $230.5 million extension in 2022. That contract was a statement. That was a franchise saying we are building around this man for the next decade. Then came the torn ACL in 2022. Then a foot injury in 2025 that limited him to just 5 games. He finished with a career low, 962 yards before landing on injured reserve. The Cardinals went 3-14, fired their head coach, brought in a completely new regime, and that regime looked at 38 wins and 48 losses across 7 seasons and made their decision quickly. On March 11th, Arizona officially released Kyler Murray. 0 playoff wins, over 20,000 passing yards, and a farewell message that said, "I wanted nothing more than to end the 77-year drought for this organization. I am sorry I failed us." Here is where it gets interesting. Because of offset language in his contract, Arizona is still on the hook for $36.8 million in guaranteed money in 2026, whether Murray plays for them or not. That means Kyler had 0 financial incentive to sign anywhere for more than the bare minimum. So the man who was making $46 million a year signed a 1-year deal with the Minnesota Vikings for $1.3 million, the veteran minimum, while the Cardinals pay his old salary. They are effectively paying him to play for a competitor. That is not a fall from grace. That is a fall off a cliff. Now, if Murray's story is painful, the story of Tua Tagovailoa operates on a completely different level. Tua came into Miami in 2020 as the 5th overall pick with enormous expectations. For a while, the doubters went quiet. In 2023, he was genuinely one of the best quarterbacks in football. He led the NFL in passing yards with 4,624 through 29 touchdowns. And the Dolphins had the number 1 offense in the entire league. Miami rewarded him with a 4-year, $212.4 million extension, the largest contract in franchise history, with $167 million in guaranteed money. That is a team betting its entire competitive window on one human being. Then everything unraveled. Concussions, hip injuries in 2024, a career-high 15 interceptions in just 14 games in 2025, a stretch so damaging that he was benched for 7th-round rookie Quinn Ewers in the final 3 games of the season. The Dolphins went 7-10, missed the playoffs for the 2nd straight year, and a new front office came in and concluded that carrying Tua into a rebuild made no sense. On March 9th, he was informed he would be released. On March 11th, it was official. Now here is the number that defines this whole situation. Releasing Tua Tagovailoa cost the Miami Dolphins a record $99.2 million in dead cap money, the largest dead cap charge tied to a single player in NFL history, surpassing the $85 million Denver absorbed when they cut Russell Wilson. Miami will carry $55.4 million of that hit in 2026 and another $43.8 million in 2027. 2 full seasons of financial pain for a quarterback who is already gone. And where does Tua land? He signs with the Atlanta Falcons for $1.3 million, the exact same veteran minimum as Kyler Murray, while Miami is still paying him $54 million of his guaranteed money. The Falcons are essentially getting him for free while the Dolphins bleed out. The highest paid player in Miami Dolphins history is now on a minimum deal, competing with a 1st-round pick for a starting job. That is one of the most dramatic reversals in recent NFL memory. And then there is Aaron Rodgers, 4-time MVP, Super Bowl champion, 527 career touchdowns, 66,274 passing yards, a first-ballot Hall of Famer by every honest measure. And as of today, he does not have a contract. He is 42 years old, sitting at home while free agency runs completely without him. After his Achilles tear with the Jets and a solid 2025 season in Pittsburgh where he threw 24 touchdowns against just 7 interceptions, Rodgers seemed set to return to the Steelers. Pittsburgh even hired Mike McCarthy, his former Super Bowl winning coach from Green Bay, which everyone read as a direct signal. Then Rodgers went on Pat McAfee's show and made it clear he was in no rush. No offer on the table, no deadline in front of him. Just enjoying his time. Meanwhile, the market moved on entirely. The Dolphins signed Malik Willis. The Falcons took Tua. The Vikings grabbed Kyler Murray. Team by team, every quarterback-needy franchise addressed its need and closed its door. The Steelers are now sitting in a holding pattern, unable to pursue real alternatives without risking Rodgers walking, while analysts publicly question whether the wait makes any sense. Mike Florio said bluntly that showing this much patience for someone who is not committed is beneath a serious organization. Rodgers has not been cut. His situation is different. But when a 4-time MVP has exactly one realistic landing spot left, and even that team is openly debating the wait, that is its own kind of losing. 3 quarterbacks. Tua left Miami with a $99 million anchor. Kyler left Arizona with an apology. Rodgers is still waiting. The NFL does not care about your legacy. The moment the data stops supporting you, it moves on. Nobody is immune. What do you think about those? Drop, comment, and hit subscribe button.